Hello again, everyone. I'm Richard Weil, and I'm the principal and uh, owner of National Restaurant Consultants. And we welcome you again into, I believe this is our number 74 NRC Helpful Moment, the
Yes,
74th
sir.
NRC Helpful Moment. Of course, we welcome in Mr. Brian Devine from Top Line Management and Cafe Fuel. And Brian, thanks for joining us as always and
Happy to be
putting
here.
up with us. That's great. And our Vice President of National Restaurant Consultants is Mr. Jared Flowers, and he's joining us from very cool tempered Gilbert, Arizona today. So what we're going to talk about today is a great topic that Jared brought up to me late last week, and it is how landlords and lessees and lessors can kind of start to put some things together, and how National Restaurant Consultants can be a great asset to work with both landlords and with the tenants and restaurateurs. So Jared, take it away from here and share your ideas if you would, please.
Awesome. Thanks for having me again. You know, in looking at the statistics for what's going on around the country, especially here in Arizona, where we're trying really hard to shut down again by not social distancing or doing the things we're supposed to do, I started doing a little research through the National Restaurant Association, and the statistics are saying that up to 20% of restaurants in the country could close because of COVID-19. Well, right now there's over 1 million restaurants in the United States, according to the National Restaurant Association. If we took the average amount of rents that those folks are paying and the 20% that could potentially close, you're looking at, sorry, I'm going to look at my notes here, $120 million a year in lost rents. So if I'm a landlord, how do I figure out a way to, A, get paid rent, and B, support the folks that are already in the space and not have to spend the expenses of relisting a space, paying a broker, looking for a new tenant, et cetera, et cetera. And by sort of leaning on that restaurateur to make the adjustments that they need to be creative. If you look back at our helpful moments back to when we were in Southern California with the young lady that was doing grocery, we've talked to Corey Oppold, we've talked to a ton of operators around the country that are getting creative, that are downsizing their menu, they're learning how to modify labor. There's so many things that can happen that will prevent you from closing. And I think a lot of operators are stuck. So what we're trying to do is reach out to the landlord to say, hey, these operators don't have enough money to pay rent, much less have a consultant come in and help them get back on track. Why don't you bring us in and let us help them get back on track? And oh, guess what? When they do, they're going to pay rent again. They don't close, you don't lose rent, everybody wins. And I know the majority of the folks that watch these helpful moments are restaurateurs, so share this video with your landlord. Utilize this as a tool to say, hey, help me, help you. We have the tools to help kind of creatively figure out how you can still pay rent, maybe in a different capacity than what's in the lease. And at the same time, the landlord is a business person just like you. They've got to pay bills. They have investors. So we want to make sure that we make them whole as well. But right now they have the opportunity to save the listings. They don't want to have vacancies in their strip malls, in their centers, in their real estate, whatever it is. In Arizona alone, I did the math today. We have potentially 2,000 restaurants that are going to close this year because of COVID. I take that back. Sorry, that was nationally. You know, but if you look at the $899 billion in restaurant sales we were anticipating doing, and take that out, it's all about creativity. So how do we chip away at building back up to that number to allow restaurateurs to be able to pay the insurance, pay the rent without having government assistance? And we have the tools to do that. We have hundreds of years of experience on this team, and we want to help. And we know that you restaurateurs are struggling every day just to pay the staff and to turn the lights on. Let's bring the landlords in and let them help carry some of this load and get them paid and get you paid and see where we come out on the end and see if we can't make that 20% number 15% or 10%.
Right. So the point here is, if you as a restaurateur, you need help, not negotiating necessarily with your landlord, but showing the path to be able to get your lease handled, your CAM charges handled. It isn't that we're negotiating for you or acting like an attorney. We're acting as an ally for both you as the restaurateur and the operator and the landlord to see if we can help create a solution so that you don't either A, go out of business, or B, you can't afford your lease and you end up in some sort of a hard situation. So that's really what Jared's referring to. We're going to be sending this out to some realtors who are specializing in the restaurant trade. We want you to share this with your landlords, et cetera, et cetera. So not only that, not only the operation side, but let's turn to Brian, because we've been talking about marketing and how you just can't sit there. It's either contactless payment, contactless ordering, online ordering, a website that will work for you. Brian, throw a couple of thoughts more. We've already been talking about the list. What else do you want to throw out there today?
So, and just to go kind of in line with what Jared was talking about, is talking about ways to be able to pay that rent. And then, obviously we keep talking about this free online ordering system, and it still is free. It still does work great. And what I wanted to just point out today, and I'm actually looking at some statistics right here where we've had people just utilizing the free version. And in just about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, they've done almost 100 orders through the system. And this is the free version. And what I want to impress upon you and anyone else that's using this, consider the not free version, because that's 100 people that you could have been reaching out to this week to get them to come back. Now, the free version works great, obviously. I mean, I'm looking at, 150. I mean, like really good numbers. But what we want to do is turn those people into customers that come back right away. And our system is designed to do that, where we'll automatically reach out and send them a coupon and a reason to come back. And it will do event marketing. It will do birthday marketing, anniversaries. If you can think of it, we can come up with a reason to get them to come back utilizing the system. So it just kind of struck me when I saw all these free ones that are being utilized, which we love. Like, please use it. But such a missed opportunity, and it's killing me, because that's a lot of people that you'd be able to bring back. And that wasn't just like one person at a table. That was one person who placed the order. And that means there's more people. So you can always bring back more people and get those people on your list. So I want to at least throw that out there, that the free version, it works great. And if you take advantage of the full system, which is still very inexpensive, it's going to build that list so that you can get people to come back. And then obviously, like Jared was saying, it's easier when you have cash flow to negotiate. So we really want to make sure we're doing everything we can to help you there.
That makes a lot of sense. Jared, anything else to add today?
Yeah, just in closing, I would say again, when we're having these conversations with landlords, and I don't mean national restaurant consultants, I mean operators, the landlord's going to look to see what are we doing differently than we did yesterday. And that's really the tools that we're trying to provide. Again, like Richard said, we're not trying to negotiate you out of your lease or get you out of rents. But if we can show the landlord that we're doing creative things to drive more business, to keep yourself open, and not just saying we do takeout and delivery. That's the 20% that's closing. We have to come up with new ways to show the landlords and to show our guests that we're working clean, we're keeping you safe. We did a helpful moment a few weeks ago where we talked about we have to keep you and our staff safe, and you have to believe that. If we're not telling the guests that we're doing it, we're missing an opportunity. Like Brian said, if we're not doing marketing, we're missing an opportunity. And those are the things that we want to come in and give you the tools to be able to execute, so we can show the landlord, hey, give us a little bit of grace, because we're doing all kinds of new stuff to help earn enough money to pay that rent again.
Yeah. It's all about giving people new information, your customers that you don't have, your existing customers to come in more often, and your landlord providing new information as to what you're doing differently goes a long ways to get people back in the door, and for sure, conversations with your landlord. So that's really it for today. We think this has been a really good, not that they're not all good, helpful moments, but use this to your advantage today. It's the 4th of July. It's the week of the 4th of July. Think about your own independence here right now with Independence Day coming up on Saturday. Figure out how to not become one of the statistics. Don't become a statistic. That's it for today, folks. Thanks a lot. So long for now. Bye.